worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Thank you all once again tuning in. We're going to call this one today Unconditional Love is for Everyone. Right? And I think that's sort of a dual topic, or rather a two-headed subject that I'll approach here. The first part is the concept of unconditional love itself, right? So I write about this pretty intricately in my book, titled, by the way, Peace, Love, Respect. This is the New Way by King Sadiq. All right. Currently available on Amazon. Please check that out. So, when we think of love, right, for most people, it forms early in our lives, right? In our family lives, in fact. We're generally, in most situations, or let's say not enough situations, because every child deserves to be born into unconditional love, right? But most children are born into a family where their loved ones, their parents, their siblings, their other relatives, embrace them with the warmth of true love, right? However, even that most basic and pure forms of love is quickly introduced to what all of us tend to know and have as our experience as understanding love in our, or should I say, the old paradigm, right? So, in the old paradigm, even as children, right, we were quickly introduced to the concept of roles, right? And along with those roles, hey, bro, peace, love, respect. Along with those roles, we have certain expectations that generally need to be fulfilled or met in order for us to remain happy and getting along, right? We'll just say it like that. Now, certainly I won't say that, you know, we're all just superficial and fake and we turn our love on and off, right? You know, whenever we're happy or angry. It's not what I'm suggesting. Although, unfortunately, some individuals seem to do that. But what I'm saying is that when a daughter thinks of a father, she has certain expectations in mind for that role that garners her unconditional love, right? When a son thinks of a mother, he has certain expectations from that role that would garner his unconditional love. A mother for a son has certain expectations, mother for a daughter, father for a son, father for a daughter, brother for a sister, sister for a brother, etc., etc., etc. And one of the most basic requisites is generally that, hey, when the chips are down, you know, when it's emergency, we're a family no matter what, we're coming together, right? And that's good, right? That's a portion, I'll say, of unconditional love and what unconditional love is and can be. I'll say that, pardon me, I'm also in the process of walking my son's dog Zeus, as I've introduced everyone before. Here he is chilling with me again, my man Zeus. What's up, Zeus? Right? He's a quiet dude. Uh, I haven't been around a few other pit bulls, but out of all the pit bulls, actually all the dogs that I've known, he's probably the most laid back, probably almost never barks, right? But anyway, I got love for this guy. Unconditional love. So back to the concept that we look for satisfaction of the requisites, right, for each goal or each role, should I say, that we place others into, right? And along with satisfaction of those requisites comes the garnering of our unconditional love, or what we have considered to be our unconditional love. But in fact, those requisites are conditions, right? I mean, think about it realistically. Common statement: happy wife, happy life. Right? I guarantee you, every woman who is a wife has a certain list, whether she shares it openly with her husband or her mate, right? Or something she discusses with her friends, or that certain one girlfriend, or just something she keeps to herself. But she has that requisite list of things that she's overall looking for out of her husband in that marriage, in order for him to demonstrate to her his commitment to her and his fulfillment of his role as husband, thus garnering her love. And vice versa, right? Same thing is true of men, right? We're talking about a relationship, and in any relationship, there are expectations that each individual involved in the relationship is looking to have met, right? All right, that's all well and good, but that's not unconditional, right? Unconditional is just that, where you take any one that you proclaim to have this unconditional love for as they are, right? We are all fallible, right? No one is perfect. Even if we become our perfected version of ourselves, right? Our very best version of ourselves, we are in ourselves not perfect. So to love someone unconditionally is to accept them fully with all their imperfections, right? And to not have those imperfections weigh upon the level to which you love them, right? And even that isn't stating it correctly, because there shouldn't be any levels to attain in true unconditional love. For unconditional love is boundless, right? You don't have a limit to how much you love someone. That's another thing that we tend to have developed in our society, Western society in particular, I can speak on, right? Where, excuse me, we have different levels You might even say different clubs that individuals can get into in terms of our love, right? Um, you may have general love for your neighbor, right? Neighborly love. It's all well and good, but there's a certain limit to that. uh, then you may have family love that you have for, let's say, your cousins, right? Uh, but then there's some cousins that you're closer with than others. So there's two different levels of love there, right? You know, then there's the love for your siblings. You know, there can perhaps be another level of love there, the love for your parents. And all these different levels of love usually tend to correspond with different roles in our lives that these individuals are fulfilling, or different levels of expectation, or different sets of expectations, or translation, different conditions, right? Conditions that these people are meeting in order to garner our love. Now, if we think that that's not real, think about the individuals in your life who most disappoint you. Really, think about the individuals who you know who are in some way a part of your life that have disappointed you the most, who disappoint you on a regular basis. Think about those individuals and think about how they make you feel. Now, I understand they may be family members. You may say, oh, yeah, but I still love them. You know, and in a tight pinch, you may still be there, right? In a life or death situation, you may still be there. But think about generally how they make you feel. Then compare that to how the individual who tends to always be in your corner, right? The individual who tends to always come through for you. The individual who always encourages you, who helps you be your best self, right? And think about how they make you feel, okay? Or how you feel about them. Now, with that comparison in mind, you know, you obviously see some difference. And what I'm saying to you is, though their actions may be quite different, your love for them, if unconditional, should be the same. Should be the same. Because we are all, folks, just having a collage of experiences that we refer to as a lifetime. Experiences that give us all the opportunity as we experience to learn, to grow, and to mature, right? We are not all going to mature at the same time, to the same level, at the same rate, right? Or speed. We are not all going to get to the same levels of maturation or spiritual maturation during our lifetime. Our lifetimes will not all be the same length. There are infinite amounts of variations, but it doesn't make any one of them wrong, or any one of us wrong, or any one of us any less deserving of unconditional love. Some folks are just further along than others, and that's really all it is. That is all it is. And believe it or not, in terms of spiritual maturation, I'm referring to dark or nefarious people as well, right? People who we might refer to as bad people or evil people, right? It's just a certain level of immaturity, of spiritual immaturity. There are many folks, I even spoke of people who we have identified as energy vampires, right? The type of folk who come in the room and just suck all the energy out of the room, right? Everybody was happy and getting along, and they just bring everybody down and in a negative mood, right? Well, those folks are suffering from a certain form of spiritual immaturity that leaves them lacking in the most important area of our lives, which is the spiritual fulfillment we get from the love of our Creator, right? Or your higher power, however you want to term that. That is the only true fulfillment that any being can attain, especially human beings, because we are, in our truest essence, energetic spiritual beings, right? And we are only fulfilled through our connection with Source, right? And excuse me. And thus, it is also true that it is only possible for us to attain the ability to expend or to extend out to anyone unconditional love, right? You can only develop that through your connection with Source, or your connection with our Creator, or your higher power, or however you term that, right? So we have to understand that, again, a lot of people may be suffering from different levels of spiritual immaturity or deficiencies, right? Because the lack of that love or that connection to Source creates a depravity within you. It creates a deficiency, if you will, an energetic or spiritual deficiency, which often results in folks that we've identified like as those energetic vampires, right? Or more commonly, or just loosely identifying people who tend to lean toward lower vibrational frequency behavior in general, right? These are individuals who, in one way or another, are just spiritually immature. And that's really all it boils down to, folks, right? So when you encounter them, when you intermingle or interact with them, keep that in mind. Have your heart filled and flooded with forgiveness, right? And from that point, if you draw from your connection with Source, or with your higher power, with the Creator, if you draw from that unconditional love, you can, in fact, develop the ability to extend that same unconditional love to others. Because the more we are connected to Source and our higher power, to our Creator, the more we have the ability to honestly look at ourselves, right? To be truly introspective. We have the ability to understand and process our own limitations, faults, right? Our wrongs and ills, and process that and forgive ourselves, right? So the same way we're able to forgive ourselves and understand that other people, are essentially like we are, full of their own shortcomings and iniquities, right? And as we have forgiven ourselves, hopefully we develop much more deeply the ability to forgive another, right? And from that point, we are able to extend true unconditional love. All right. So, again, I do write about that in my book. So, if you want to delve a little further into my thoughts on unconditional love, certainly refer to my book, right? Peace, Love, Respect. This is the New Way by King Sadiq, currently available on Amazon. Now, the second part of that, or the second head of that subject matter, I would say is about who you're able to extend unconditional love to, right? So there's understanding what unconditional love is, and then there's who you're able to extend it to. That as well must in fact be unconditional, right? Love in itself is not, true love is not something that comes with a condition, it's a recognition, right? Well, what do you mean by that, King Sadiq? Okay. In our most pure and our most basic essence, we truly want to be pleasing unto the sight of our Creator or Source or our higher power, right? And most people recognize that and acknowledge that. So to do that, right, we then are tasked with the very basic requisite of having the same love we would desire from our Creator, for us to have that love for our Creator's creations, right? Think about that for a second. How can we ask for and expect unconditional love from our Creator and not love our Creator's creations? I don't like to use gender. We'll say his or her creations, right? You know, our Creator created. Creation itself was done out of love, right? Creation itself was done out of love. Think about the amount of love, right? So for creation to happen, anything, any creation begins with a thought, right? It has to, right? A concept, a thought. And in order for anything to come into creation, right, it has to be concentrated on. So for our Creator to think of us, right, and this is any creation, man, dog, dolphin, right, ant, bird, bee, any creation, our Creator thought of us, pondered us, concentrated on us, and loved us into existence. You don't get any deeper concentrated thought than love, because to love something is to appreciate its every facet, right? Right? So if we are to have and extend unconditional love, we can't pick and choose which of our Creator's creations we extend that love to. If we, creations of our Creator ourselves, wish to have the same unconditional love, how can we look upon another creation of our Creator and say and proclaim ourselves to be more worthy of unconditional love than that creation that our Creator deemed worthy of existing? Think about that for a moment. I know that's was a mouthful of words, certainly seemed to be when I was trying to get it out. But think about that, right? Here's a bush, right? And an expression of creative energy, of our Creator's creative energy. A bush, a plant, vegetation that has sprung up on one of our Creator's planets, right? A beautiful planet that exists in one of our Creator's solar systems, revolving around one of our Creator's beautiful stars, right? Swirling around in a beautiful collage of solar systems making up our Creator's beautiful galaxy that we live in here, right? Which is just a part of the billions upon billions of galaxies that we know are swirling around in this universe, which is just one of many universes in our multiverse, which extends transdimensionally, both laterally and ascending and descendingly, right? And we are going to make the decision to say, oh, you're not worthy of love? How haughty, how bold, how arrogant, right? Shame on us. No, I'm just messing with you. No shame. We don't do that. But really, though, it is not even our place to decide if another being or another creation is worthy of unconditional love. It is merely our duty to extend that unconditional love unconditionally to all, the same way we want it. You got to give it to get it. And that's one of the Hermetic principles that we need to understand. What you send out, the law of attraction, right? What you send out into the universe is what you get back. And how dare we expect to get back unconditional love from the universe if we decide that there are certain beings or certain creations that don't deserve unconditional love, right? Perhaps we are determined by someone or something else to not be deserving of unconditional love, right? Yeah. So unconditional love for everyone is about understanding first what unconditional love is, and then understanding truly that it is something deserving for every single creation, right? Everything that exists is worthy of our love, right? And when we live in the kind of high vibrational frequency civilization that we're moving toward, right? We will do better in pondering and appreciating each creation, each and everything that exists. And in doing so, we will gain better and greater understanding and relationship with these things, with these beings, with these creations, with everything that exists, right? And in doing so, we'll only unlock our understanding and our wisdom and the growth and expansion of our sciences exponentially. That is true civilization. That is human progress. That is extending unconditional love to all and reaping the reciprocal benefits of doing so. Right? All right. Remember, don't pick and choose who you give unconditional love to. If somebody is behaving less than admirably, right? To put it lightly, if they are exhibiting dark or low vibrational frequency behaviors, dislike, even hate the behavior, right? But don't hate the person, because that's just where they're at that point of their development, at that stage of their spiritual maturation, right? So they'll get better eventually. Might not even be in this lifetime. Eventually, they'll get better. In the meantime, you got your own thing to do. Don't let anything detract from that. Your ascension is far more precious and important than that, right? So just go ahead and do your part and elevate yourself by extending unconditional love to everyone. All right. I think that's about it. Yeah, Zeus says, I didn't forget. All right, Zeus, show you right. Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more time. I'm out.